Voters seem to be warming up to Governor Mitt Romney's choice for a running mate, Congressman Paul Ryan of Wisconsin. The Washington Post conducting polls immediately before and after Saturday's announcement. Ryan getting an immediate bump in his favorability rating, jumping from 23 to 38% after the announcement. And if recent election trends are any guide, the announcement also might give Governor Romney a boost in the polls. Let's talk about it with David Drucker, an associate politics editor for Roll Call. The Ryan announcement, especially among conservative Republicans, seems to have boosted Mitt Romney's fortunes among Republicans. David.
Well, this was one of their hopeful picks. For many conservatives, for many activists, they were looking for a signal from Romney that he wasn't just running to win, he was running to do something. And so I think that this is going to lend credibility to Mitt Romney among those in his party, particularly because he's been saying things for the past few months that they liked, and I think they wanted to see something from him that told them that what he's been saying is what he's all about when it comes to conservative governance, and the Ryan pick does that.
It's kind of funny, you know, when you read various media outlets, you can read all kinds of things into these polls. USA Today and Gallup took a poll and said, and here's how USA Today wrote it up: Americans don't believe Mitt Romney hit a home run with his choice of Paul Ryan as a running mate, with more of the public giving him lower marks than high ones. A lot of that has to do with the fact that Paul Ryan was fairly unknown on a national stage before this weekend.
That's true. In Washington, in New York, a lot of people know who the House Budget Chairman is. Most Americans have never heard of him. Maybe they've heard about this Ryan plan, but they never met Paul Ryan. And although it could go any number of ways for the Romney campaign, the one thing I can tell you about Paul Ryan from having covered him is that while his ideas and his policy agenda is grounded in conservatism and is rather ideological, the way he talks about what he believes in is rather nonpartisan, and in a sense he approaches things rhetorically from a common sense perspective. So he has an opportunity here to define his candidacy. The Romney team has an opportunity to define him in a way that voters might actually find appealing.
Let's take a look at a bar graph from the Washington Post and its polling outfit. It shows that favorable impressions of Paul Ryan jumped 15%. He had a 23% favorable rating pre-announcement, and then 38% after the announcement of his choice as vice presidential nominee. So, you know, pretty good numbers there for Ryan. And then when you look at favorable ratings by party ID, this is interesting because it indicates the second set of numbers there on the left. It indicates that among Republicans, favorable ratings jumped from 48 to 62%. If Mitt Romney had a problem, and some say he did, had a problem selling himself as a true conservative to hardcore Republicans, David, this choice seems to have helped him a lot.
Yeah, and it gets back to something we were discussing earlier, John, and that is that, you know, ironically, Mitt Romney over the course of the summer and in the latter stages of the presidential primary was talking in ways that, at least on its face, many conservatives found appealing. The issue was, could they trust Romney to govern as a conservative if he won? I think going with Ryan, somebody who's known for his plans to overhaul entitlement programs, for plans that involve tax reform and cutting the budget, in a sense gives them the confidence that Romney isn't simply running just to win and then do nothing. And so I think that's why the choice, at least in that regard, was good. And I think one thing we have to remember with Paul Ryan, we don't know how the rest of the campaign is going to go. The Obama administration and the campaign may be successful at defining the Medicare plan as something voters don't want, and it could end up not working out. But Paul Ryan has been winning re-election to a House district that is not some ruby red, gerrymandered Republican district that any Republican could win. It's a swing district. They vote for Democrats statewide all the time, including for president. And so he has created and established a relationship with swing voters and Democrats, not simply Republicans, when it comes to his being on the ballot. So he knows how to talk to voters like that,
right,
and that could prove to be an asset.
The district that reelected him last time also voted for President Obama, well, I should say, in 2008. David Drucker, thank you.